Runt is such a deep and dramatic film. Cyrus, what was it about Bogey that really resonated with you?
When I was filming Runt, while not to near the extent that Borgie was, being a teenager and the insecurities that Borgie had that drive him to make all of the decisions that he does in the movie are pretty much felt by everyone in the world. And I was definitely feeling into that during the shooting of that movie. I'm better now and I feel like I'm more secure and mature now. But definitely was going through that. And I definitely resonated with that insecurity and trying to use comedy as an escape, and trying to use comedy as a way to it's dark because comedy is can be painful, and definitely that painful comedy that unwarranted the making fun of yourself that Borgie was doing, those kinds of roots are definitely felt in a lot of teenagers, especially ones who use comedy as kind of an escape. And I definitely felt that with Borgie. I didn't abuse drugs or alcohol like Borgie did. But because Borgie's like younger than I am, but yeah, definitely I definitely felt that a little bit with that character.
Is Borgie mad at Cal for not reporting the bullying because he wishes he was standing up for the little guy, or because his friend is, gotten injured?
You're saying that Borgie is angry at Cal because of how he's kind of like his friendship is fizzled out with him a little bit, and or is he scared for him? I
Yeah, and also because, he didn't report the bullying. So does maybe Cyrus feel like this Cal's giving them kind of a pass to do this in the future?
Oh, like yeah. Borgie didn't report the bullying because the bullies also torment him. Borgie feels like if he reports the bullying and tells school faculty about Vic and Big Ern and Hank tormenting Cameron's character, then they're just gonna come at Borgie with twice the force. And so Borgie's kind of cowardice in that area and not reporting and speaking up for his friend, which I'd like to. I take pride in high school. If I saw something wrong, I would definitely take it to somebody, and I think that's an issue. Just connectivity and communication among adults and kids is just resonant in this movie through all outlets. Whether it's reporting about bullying, whether it's talking to your own parents, and definitely I feel like Borgie didn't do it because he would find himself in the middle of the fire, which is kind of unfortunately like a pretty cowardice thing to do. Yeah.
I think Cal's also, a bit of a badass, a little too much for his own good, and he wanted to deal with it internally and not, kind of be the snitch that I think Vic was
Oh,
trying to feel
right.
like.
Cal. Cal definitely what Aramis said. I feel like Cal was definitely trying to go in his mind the more what's the angle to do to really put an end to this myself and do it in a prideful, I guess in Cal's perspective, maybe masculine way. I don't know. I feel like, what do you think?
And remember in the beginning of the movie too, Tashina Arnold played our principal. And I even went to the principal's office after all of this stuff happened and nothing really happened. So from Cal's perspective, it's like, shit, I can go to the teachers, I can be honest, but is it really going to matter? This kid
Right.
is
Yeah.
very, very privileged. And I think us as actors, we know how that feels.
Oh yeah.
Some people experience it a lot worse than others, but a lot of times you're around people who are really, really powerful. And sometimes, you have to put a back seat to the way that you feel and the way people treat you based on the political dynamic of,
Right.
the set, the producers that you work with, the directors that you work with. Luckily on this film, everyone was very respectful. And
Good. Nicole, in what ways?
I speak for all of them.
Oh, good. Nicole, in what ways does Cecily really connect with Cal?
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Sure. Cecily really seems to have a connection with Cal. What ways do you think that is? Is it does she see, a potential for something in him? Is he just, attractive to her? What does she really resonate with in Cal?
I think Cecily has both a positive and negative impact on Cal and his decisions. I think in part she's a calming influence on him, but she's also like the driving force in him making some really irrational haste decisions that results very negatively. But in terms of their dynamic, I think she was the first person to ever show him what it's like to really care about someone, and also to be cared by someone. So it works both ways. Yeah.
In the end, she kind of becomes frightened of him rather than frightened for him. It's really a testament to their connection dissolving. Talk about filming that scene where she's backing away from Cal instead of sort of embracing him and encouraging him. There's a fine line drawn between the two of them at some point.
Do you mean the ending scene?
Yeah.
Well, the ending of the film is supposed to symbolize a new beginning, or the beginning of the end, no matter which way you look at it. I mean, once the police lights start flashing in the background, it's clear that Cal and Cecily are in big trouble, with even bigger consequences. I also think going to the school dance comes full circle, because it's mentioned one of the first times Cal and Cecily talk to each other. And then it's also the ending scene of the whole movie. Also one of the last scenes we shot of the film, which doesn't always happen.
Nobody goes to those or something.
Chronology. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, yeah, to piggyback of what off of what you said, Jamie, about Cal's relationships with people, they end up fearing him or being hesitant of him. I think that in a way it's while yes, that's true, I think that a lot of Cal's friends end up fearing what kind of he's turned into, this kind of violent person. I think Borgie, I think Cecily, like Nicole mentioned, kind of allows that to happen and is kind of a little bit pro-vigilant against Vic off of the actions what he did. What do you think about that, Nicole?
You mean him responding to Vic's actions?
In terms of like supporting the violence that Cal was inflicting upon Vic at the end of the movie.
Oh, well, I think it had just reached a certain maximum and it all kind of fell downhill from there. I mean, he was sort of putting up with this crap until then. And yeah, again, the film shows just what can happen when you go down the wrong path and how difficult it is to come back from making those bad decisions ultimately.
Aramis, what do you really hope that viewers take away from watching Runt, and maybe what you hope it inspires them to do should they have their own bully in their life?
Yeah. Well, I think first off, I hope everybody will be aware of, I mean, I'm sure people already are, but aware of Cameron's abilities the way I think all of us are. He's a very special person, and I think that shows in the movie, and we all know that because we dealt with him firsthand. So I think that's one of the most important things. But I also think, leading with love and loving your brothers and sisters is really the key to it. It sounds cliche, but love wins over hate. And I think the aggression that we show and the revenge that we seek throughout the movie leads us to a place of despair where, Cal and Cecily very likely are headed to jail. Vic may be headed to jail, definitely never going to be the same quarterback he ever was again. And really all of us, could have come together and led with love, but then we wouldn't have a very interesting movie. So
Yes, there's the there's the plot there.